The universe has something precious to reveal to you today. And this something does not come from outside, but from within. It is a moment where the forces that move everything around you also directly touch your emotional journey. What you are about to understand is more than just a warning. It is guidance from a higher plane that speaks of love, transformation, and deep reconnection. And this message has come to you because you are ready to hear it. You may not have realized it right away, but something started to change inside you some time ago. It was as if your way of thinking, feeling, and acting was slowly reorganizing itself silently. And the universe has noticed this internal change. Even if subtle to your eyes, it has triggered a direct impact on the energy of the connection you share with the person who inhabits your thoughts. This person, even from a distance, has felt the effect of this. There is an energetic movement that is intensifying among you and that is now beginning to manifest itself in a much more visible way. What were once just vague sensations, like a sudden memory, a symbolic dream, or a sense of presence, have become a kind of silent nudge. The universe is making room for something bigger. It's not just about longing. The connection between you is going through a new stage. An internship that requires dedication, truth, and a different type of communication. And the truth is that behind the scenes this person is feeling your energy intensely. There is even a kind of surrender happening within her, as if she could no longer resist the strength of this bond. You've deeply wished that person would come closer, not just with words, but with presence. And even if you didn't say it out loud, your intentions were out there. They were clear, firm, and confident, but for the first time you put them out into the universe instead of directing them directly at someone else. And that made all the difference. This change in posture, more centered, more conscious, made your energy become more magnetic. You stopped chasing what you want and started becoming the very source of what you seek. Instead of looking for love as something external, you have started expressing that love in you, for you, and that vibration is spreading in a powerful way. The person on the other end of that connection is feeling it intensely. Even if they don't understand it rationally, there is a growing admiration. They realize that something has changed, that you are no longer the same person as before, that there is a new light in you, a silent but firm security, and this awakens in them an almost urgent desire to get closer. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they're still trying to figure out what exactly they're feeling. But the impulse is there. A strong impulse, charged with emotion and curiosity. There is a clear desire to know how you are, what you have been experiencing, how you have been feeling. And all of this is a direct result of your inner transformation. Your connection grew stronger because you grew stronger. And the universe is orchestrating this reunion silently and precisely. Every gesture, every thought, every intention that you have emitted in the last few months is now being reflected in the energetic field between you. And that starts to bring about real change. Get ready. The coming weeks will be marked by revelations, by internal and perhaps external encounters, which will bring new layers of understanding, but above all they will bring more honest, cleaner, deeper communication, a communication from soul to soul. This person, even though they may not understand all the details of what they are feeling, has begun to awaken to something greater than they imagined. There is a clarity forming, albeit slowly, that there is a much deeper connection between you than has been experienced thus far. They feel that you are not only someone special, but someone capable of touching their inner world like no one else has ever done. They really notice how far you've changed. But it's not just any change, it's a transmutation. Your way of positioning yourself, communicating, and existing in the world is different. You convey confidence without arrogance, lightness without superficiality, presence without the need for control. This does not go unnoticed. In fact, This new way of being is making them reevaluate everything they thought they knew about themselves. They remember the conversations, the looks, the times you told them truths they weren't ready to hear. And now it all starts to make sense. Time has separated you physically, but brought you closer spiritually, because now they are beginning to understand that your connection never depended on physical proximity. It exists on another plane where words are not necessary to feel. It is precisely this re-encounter with the energetic dimension of the connection that makes it worthwhile. They feel that, as much as they have tried to maintain control, they can no longer ignore the force that exists between you. It's like the universe is always reminding you, look at this. And they are, for the first time in a long time, really looking. You have radiated an energy that awakens in them something very close to devotion, not in an idealized sense, but in the recognition that there is something in you that is not easily found, something that inspires, that challenges, that elevates. And this ignites in them the desire to be close, to talk, to touch not only their body, but their essence. They feel like being honest, showing themselves as they are, without masks, opening up spaces that were previously too protected. And this is largely due to the way you have shown yourself to the world, real, sensitive, honest. Your energy speaks for you, your presence communicates security, and this has become irresistible to them. The most interesting thing is that this change did not arise from a desire to attract attention. It came from your conscious choice to stop chasing after things and start aligning yourself with what you want to experience. And that alignment made you magnetic. Instead of looking for love outside, you started to live that love within yourself. This completely changed the vibration of the connection. This person is beginning to see a reflection of themselves in you. They realize that you share more than feelings, you share mirrors. When you distance yourself, they are forced to look within. When you assert yourself, they are called to acknowledge their own insecurities. When you become enlightened, they also become enlightened. Even if they don't fully understand why, the universe is guiding this process precisely. Every gesture you made, every intention you emanated, created a field around you that now begins to manifest itself in the form of actions. And this person feels this, knows that they can no longer treat this connection as something common. They know that the time has come to position yourself differently. They are going through an emotional awakening. The dormant parts of their heart are stirring, and with it comes the desire to not only feel, but to express. You may soon realize this, perhaps through a message, a symbolic gesture, or even an unexpected appearance. But no, nothing will be by chance. They're seeing you in a way they've never seen you before. And it's not because you've changed physically or started saying different things. It is because your energy now presents itself so clearly that it has become impossible to ignore. You are not trying to convince, force, or prove anything. You just are. And that has more power than any speech. It is in this state that they begin to see themselves through you. And what they see isn't always comfortable, because you confront them with what they avoided. Your silences show how much they miss you. Your lightness reveals the weight they still carry. Your presence awakens in them the desire to also be whole as you have been. And that transforms. For a long time, this person has projected their insecurities onto your connection. Perhaps they have confused control with care, attachment with love, presence with possession. But now, as you move away from old dynamics and toward a more centered version of yourself, they realize how trapped they were in old ideas about what love is. They observe how you act with dignity, even when feeling, how you maintain authenticity, even when faced with absence, how you respect your own energy, even when wanting to be close. And this is something new for them, something that challenges them, because for a long time they believed that to love was to lose oneself, and now they realize that true love begins when a person chooses to find themselves. This process of self-observation has caused them to revisit several scenes between you. They remember times when you were firm while they were confused, times when you were confident while they were hiding behind excuses. And only now does it all make sense. You weren't pushing them away, you were protecting yourself. Understanding comes as a relief and, at the same time, as a concern, because they wish they had realized it sooner. Maybe they wanted to say more, do more, listen more, but they now understand that everything happened the way it needed to happen, and that maybe there is still time. The universe is gently and firmly showing them that your connection is not about perfection, but evolution. That each moment of separation brought with it a lesson, that each silence held a truth waiting to be heard, and that each reunion, even if only energetic, served to align the two of you with something greater. They are allowing themselves to feel without fear, and what's more, they are learning to express it. Maybe they don't know exactly how to do it yet, but they feel like they need to try. There is a real desire to rebuild bridges, to clear up misunderstandings, to humbly acknowledge what they previously denied. This person doesn't idealize you, they see you with all your strengths, vulnerabilities, and choices. And that's what makes the connection so strong now, because they begin to understand that you don't represent an unattainable dream, but rather a possible reality, if there is courage on both sides. The most beautiful thing is that you didn't charge any of this, you just aligned yourself with your own truth. And that was enough to get the movement started. Your energy opened a portal, and now they feel the urge to cross over, to show themselves too, to say without filters that they still feel, that they still want, that they still believe. At this moment, what is happening between you goes far beyond words. The connection is being rewritten by something deeper, acceptance. This person is no longer trying to understand everything rationally. They are feeling, allowing themselves to dive into what is there, without the need to name it, without the anxiety of controlling the next steps. They understood that your bond is not a path to be traveled in a hurry, but a territory to be explored with presence, that true connection does not require proof, but rather authenticity. And that awareness changed everything. It changed the way they look at themselves, at you, and at life itself. Before they wished you would see them. Now they want you to feel comfortable being exactly who you are. Because they understood that true love does not try to mold, does not force fits, does not impose rhythm. Real love observes, welcomes, and shares. And that's where they are on the path, open to whatever is true, even if it's not easy. Your energy, firm and serene, provoked this awakening in them. You made no promises, but you maintained integrity. You didn't walk away with resentment, but with respect. You didn't give up, you just respected yourself. And that touched something essential in them, the awareness that mature relationships are not built on games, but on clarity. She now feels that you not only represent an important memory, but a reference. A point of light that guided, even in absence, a beacon that remained lit when everything around seemed dark. And that's why she feels so much desire to get closer, not to go back to the past, but to build something from who you are today. And there is something important here. This closeness that she desires is no longer guided by need. She doesn't just want to have you around, she wants to share what she's discovered. She wants you to get to know this version of her that gradually emerged between silences and reflections, a more real, more complete, more ready version. This person is in a rare moment, vulnerable, yes, but also aware. She knows you have no control over how you will react, but she understands that she needs to be truthful, and that is enough. Because she finally realized that hiding feelings out of pride only postpones what her heart has already recognized for a long time. She doesn't have all the answers, she doesn't know how all this will unfold, but she is willing to listen, to learn, to take responsibility for what she feels, willing to not run away anymore. And this arrangement is what makes it all so powerful. The universe, with its silent precision, masterfully conducted this internal reunion. Each departure was a preparation. Every tear shed in the dark served to cleanse the eyes of the soul. And now that person sees you clearly, with the kind of clarity that only comes when you look with an open heart. She wants to tell you this not just through words, but through her gaze, her touch, her presence. She wants to show that the admiration she feels for you goes beyond appearance, history, desire. It's something spiritual, it's something she didn't choose to feel, but that she now chooses to live. Because what exists between you two is not a simple unresolved case. It is a healing field. It is a territory where love has taken root, and when that happens, no distance can undo it. It can fall asleep, it can change shape, but it remains perfect. Now that person understands. There is no longer any doubt about the strength of this connection, nor about the role you play in her life. She is no longer trying to fit you into a mold of the past. She is looking at your connection with the respect it deserves, as something that goes beyond labels and expectations and that asks for only one thing: true surrender. What she feels at this moment is not a memory, but a presence. You are present in her decisions, inspirations, and most intimate reflections. Your energy is mixed with the choices she makes, even without realizing it. It's as if you have become part of the inner code that guides her way. And it's not about dependency, on the contrary, it's precisely because she has regained her own center that she now sees clearly how much you mean to her. Because it was in the space of silence, in the absence of confirmations, that the connection was strengthened. It was at the moment she needed to look within that she found you again, not outside, but inside herself. This reunion with her essence was the turning point. She understood that what she was looking for in you was, in fact, something she needed to awaken within herself. And when that happened, it all made sense. The desire for closeness was no longer a request, but a desire to share what she now feels fully. Love has finally stopped being an enigma. It became simple, in the best sense of the word, without games, without manipulation, without unrealistic expectations, just the sincere desire to be, to listen, to learn, to grow together. And now, with an unarmed heart, she prepares to communicate with you like never before. This upcoming communication will be different from anything you have ever experienced. It will not be marked by promises or rehearsed statements. It will be a genuine exchange, with space for questions and pauses. It will be an invitation to look at yourselves as you are now, more mature, more aware, more prepared. She will come with simple words, but full of meaning. It could be an unexpected message, a discreet gesture, or a seemingly casual reunion. But behind all this, the universe will be aligning this moment precisely, and you will feel it. You will feel that this is not just a return, it is a new presentation. Between you, there is an understanding that only those who have been through all of this can have, the perception that each phase was necessary, that each silence had a purpose, that even the most difficult moments were opening space for something true to flourish. This person now looks back on what you experienced with gratitude. And when they think of you, they no longer just feel longing, they feel admiration, they feel respect, and they feel love. A love that does not need to be justified, that simply exists, because it has deep roots, because it was born from souls that recognized each other. She wants you to know. You taught her to love better, to love without fear, without rushing, without pressure, to love with her soul. And this learning will not be forgotten. True love doesn't need to be explained, just acknowledged. Sometimes it doesn't come when we want it, but when we are ready. And when two people choose to meet again, aware of who they are, this reunion becomes a force that cannot be contained. The universe is paving this way. You just have to choose to go through it with an open heart. If this story inspired you, write in the comments, "Love is my strength and my inspiration." Share this message with anyone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the signs that the universe has prepared for you.